Hello everybody and welcome back to my China versus Ethiopia series. A series that probably does not have the best title since uh, that's going to only be the very beginning of the story. Anyways, where we left off, I wasn't sure what to do with this, and it just goes to show why I step away after the half-hour mark, because it's pretty clear after a little bit of consideration that the farm's the right answer, not a road just yet.
He who commands the
Okay, we finished
right.
sailing because we wanted to be able to put up a second trade route because Bratislava would like one. And, um, okay, and Kathmandu seeks a great profit. So that's two city-states now that seek a great profit. Um, which we are on our way to by chance. Um, we're probably not very competitive in the religion scene, but getting a great profit just to satisfy them. Because that's what I was just about to say before I saw that notification, is that this is really the first game where I've kind of gone out of my way to satisfy city-states, and it's really been beneficial, so I've learned something. Anyways, tech-wise, we're going to be heading towards philosophy. This is part of the reason why I didn't get right back to the series, because I've been thinking about this a lot. I do agree with setting up one more expand, even though it's going to make the National College, that much later. Mainly because, like I explained before, this city has to grow a tile, grow a tile, grow a tile, and then maybe we buy into this because it's probably not going to grow into the third ring before like scooping up a bunch of the second ring. So we really need these borders growing, and we don't really want to be spending money on it if we can avoid it, because even though we have a ton of money, maybe buying a paper maker right away here would make sense. So there's 400 gold gone, and we're going to have military upgrades to be thinking about in the near future. So he was coming over here just to make sure our trade route was still safe. I think I'll probably start heading down here. Ethiopia had a settler here. This guy's kind of in the way, which sucks, but see what's going on there. Let's see, we actually have an okay amount of workers. We're probably right on the horizon of getting one here because it's been a while since we took this one. So I don't know that we would attack them because we do want them to have another city. We just don't want them to have the cities we're gonna want. So, anyways, moving on. He's just gonna heal up on this hill. We get a good amount of visibility, and this is where our settle's coming. So might as well. He was continuing, somewhat counterclockwise. However, with the coast here, we're probably gonna have to start bouncing back. He's just mostly sitting here because we saw the spearman come up here, so we can step and shoot safely if that's the case. And next turn. Yeah, we got somebody had brought to my attention the delay in the National College, and it's a good thing to be thinking about. Let's see, this is the most growth, which even though we have Lake Victoria, we do still want to focus on growth. Science, science, science. Alright, and here's another worker. So let's... City looks good. We know he has a spearman, but we don't know where. Probably here, right? Almost has to be. So he'll come up here. He'll come up here. So from there, they can see this. It's a hill 2 hexes away. So they just saw 3 units come out of nowhere. Hopefully that means we'll be able to extract. No problem. Now, the settler's coming here. We are going to want one worker over there, but if the settle's here and the first tile we develop is here, the settler can lead the worker, and unfortunately, the way we've got 2 flatlands, this is just kind of takes an extra turn to get through. So what I'll do is I'll have this worker come over here, start pre-building the road, and then he can come down and work on the farm. And then we'll just try and keep an eye on that to make sure he's 1 turn behind the settler. Get over here, start developing that city as we settle it. So I still want him to come down here, but I don't want him to block what Ethiopia might see as the only way through. Because we saw when we were making him dance back and forth here, he seemed to know. So he's probably going to know that too, and I don't want to derail that. Excuse me. It's always something with my throat when I'm trying to talk. I don't like it. Alright, everything looks caught up there. Alright, I'm really glad we had the warrior come up here because that's going to save this scout a little bit of time, looks like. Um, kind of want to cut back through here. The problem with the snow, sometimes you can find city-states, and that's great. But when you don't, that means it's a chance for um, barbarians to go absolutely unchecked. Oh, okay. So this is, I mean, this is kind of a good thing because I was noticing with this being our next plains farm, we're going to need this warrior to come over here just to be able to keep an eye on this extremity. Although the fact that we can see all this is pretty good. That means a camp can only spawn here or here, and in either one they're more likely to go after him. But still, we got to make sure we keep that worker and our lands protected. That's the whole reason he's here. Now, this is really great because as far as we know, he's in a corner, right? So the only places he could have expanded would be the places we would want. This is technically a valid expand, however, it's all growth. So it'll help him in the science department, and he's got another port city, but he's just not going to have any production. And it's also good that he's got another city, because now if we take his capital, it's just taking his capital. It's not wiping out a civ. So that's something to keep in mind too. Okay, settlers done in the capital. Let's go ahead and restore our tiles. And we're going to work on that caravan because there's a city-state that wanted it. He's going to hop up here, start heading that way. He's going to come down here. It's probably time to pick on Kuala Lumpur a little bit. Yeah. So he took almost 60 undefended. If he defends, we'll be up to 50. That's probably good enough. And that buys this guy time to take some pot shots. He'll come over here. He'll take the place of the other melee once he's exhausted, which will definitely be next turn. He's just going to heal up there, and everything looks good. This will probably be the turn to pull this worker over, because he's going to take one turn to get over the river and then one turn to get up on one of these hills. So that does put him one turn behind the settler. So that's what we're going to do, and we don't want him finishing the road, so let's come over here, and it just happens to be the turn to finish the farm. So that means this is going to be a better tile assignment for now. Alright, he did survive, that's good. So, whoops. I thought I clicked on that. We can continue to shoot at this, get those great general points, and we do have another archer on the way. Unfortunately, it's only going to take a couple turns to gobble up his health, so I don't even know this archer's going to be able to put shots in on the... but that's okay, because once people heal up, we can come back in for a second wave. At the very least, we want to get a great general out. Because I'm thinking, since it is looking like we are in the west and he's in a corner, like for the beginning of the game we'll be pushing this way, but then for the rest of the game we'll be pushing in the opposite direction. So I think rather than waiting around for Chokanos, or I don't even remember how to pronounce them, I think going after this guy as soon as possible is going to be better. Unfortunately, we didn't make an early push, so it might be that, say, like composite bowman and swordsman would be the bare minimum. He is on flat land, but he's got water here. It's and rough. So we would have to have people coming around the back, and it's just going to be a tough push, even with a little bit of military superiority. But I think we're going to need to get that out of the way. And then we'll take advantage of our Chukano window to, start dominating the rest of the continent. Is how I foresee things going. Archer's finished there. That's our third one, so let's make one more. We do have 4 cities, so that's a good guideline. You can always come to your military overview and just look at your unit supply. We are about to drop another city, so that's going to be 2 right off the bat. Plus, an even amount of... Yeah, we'll grow in 3. Next city will be down in 3, so... Or about that time, not necessarily 3. I didn't count it out. Alright, so if this worker's coming here... We'd be able to see that from here, and that gets us a good amount of visibility. So let's do that. He's going to start heading towards Kuala Lumpur. Probably won't get there in a time to be meaningful, but... Yep. Everything's looking good. I wanted to thank you guys for the support, all the feedback you're giving me. This has actually been a really good map. I've actually been able to learn quite a bit, even just in the short time. So I really appreciate that. We do have a worker coming up here, so I'm thinking these two can finish this road. So I'll actually have him come over here. We've already pre-built this one to its furthest extent. So he can do these tiles while this guy comes up and do this and finish that. Or something along those lines. Alright, our peace money has ended, which is unfortunate because that means our gold has crawled to a stop, but we already have quite the lead. Now, policy. This is part of the reason why I've not gotten back to the series right away. I'm really torn about this decision. Um, Obviously, when you're going domination, honor tree is very, very good, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with getting these freebies from the liberty tree and then going into honor. Like right now, to open up honor, there'd be nothing wrong with that. However, we do have this city-state, and it's going to be our ally in a few turns. Also, because of this way this city has grown, we're going to have maybe not an early guild, just because I do think for the war, taking these techs are probably going to be necessary. But nevertheless, we are going to have an effective guild up. So we're going to have a lot of culture rolling in. And my thing with the Liberty Tree is this policy is so clutch, right? Like it makes all future policies that much more affordable. So if we wanted to, say, fill out Liberty and Honor, which I don't even know if that's the case, because, you know, obviously once you get rationalism, that's going to be very... You gotta have to have it just to stay competitive. So I don't know if we'll be filling them out, but we do know that we're going to be taking a lot of policies. So I do think, and then of course once you have this and you're offered another policy, you might as well take this. It's happiness. It's a free great person. That's the whole point of Liberty, is you're a little slow on science, and then bam, you make up for it here. So I do think this is the way to go. Unfortunately, our happiness has been fine, and now we have a forced golden age, which is also fine. This city's going to grow in 5 turns, so I would rather wait till we grow and then we can work the gold tiles. This city has no options. Here we can go like this, and that way we don't sacrifice growth for the gain of gold, just for now. The idea being is that, yeah, the golden age does increase protection. I think it's like 20%. Yeah. But by moving this here, it's technically like a 33% increase in gold rather than just 20% more on that hammer, is the way I look at it anyways. Alright, this is our scout archer, so we can just cross the river freely. He can withstand another hit, or 2 at this rate. Alright, he's going to work the deer. So definitely let me know what you guys think about that, because it's what's been plaguing me. The National College and where to go with the social policies. This is the thing I've been spending so much time thinking about. Oh my goodness, that is so tempting. That is so tempting. Like, our workers are kind of okay for the time being. So I wouldn't want to grab it just for the sake of grabbing it. And we did just finish off the peace deal exchange, so it's not like we'd be losing anything. Also, well, we're now in the classic era, so we don't get the benefit of being old, and we have met a lot of people, but not all of them. There's benefits to declaring war right now, but at this point, because we're not in the ancient era, I would rather be able to denounce before going to war, so let's pass on that. He's going to start the farm there. So let's go ahead and just move that guy over there, because it's the same thing now, and we'll get better. That way if I miss the worker finishing up, we'll still get the benefit. See, this is kind of scary, especially with that barbarian here, because we can see mountains, right? That's why I'm coming this way. And you wouldn't think a barbarian, because a barbarian is going to be able to see the mountains here. Why would they go here? So there almost has to be a camp here. And we got some tundra here. So it doesn't look like a city-state. I'm not going to bother going through that, because we'll probably just get annihilated if we do. Also, we need to get back to scouting the mainland. Probably will go with a second scout eventually, because if we are to the south, then we basically have south. If we are to the west, we're going to have south and east to explore. This guy can handle east, and another scout can come down. But we've got more important things at the moment. Yeah, only one gold. That's unfortunate, but every little bit will help because we do have a large need for gold. In fact, I think buying the paper maker in the city right away. It's like me when I'm playing Liberty to buy the library in my last settle. That way the National College can get going. With the paper maker, there's no maintenance costs, and it gives you 2 gold per turn. So if you know you're going to buy it, you might as well buy it the moment you drop the city down, is my thought process. So as soon as we settle, I will buy a paper maker. We can afford it. It's only half our money. Whereas usually when I'm playing Liberty at this point, it's all my money because that's explicitly what I'm saving up for. Alright, so he can definitely take one more hit. And this is the scout. This is not. So, little interesting tidbit here. I've got these 2 archers, right? We want to occupy these 2 hexes so they can shoot. It seems intuitive to just leave this guy in place because he's already there, right? But my thinking is I would move him over here. That way if there is, like, say, a barbarian camp here, obviously they might take pokes and we don't want a 2-front war. And if there is something there, then my scouty type can step up here rather than here. So just for best practice's sake, I'm gonna... Oh, what is he doing over there? I'm so sorry about my throat. Let me take a quick swig. That is very unprofessional. I'm sorry. Part of the reason I was doing it this way is because I just assumed his spearman was here. So if one was going to get attacked, I'd rather it be not the scout type. So did I shoot with him already? I did not. Okay, so that we'll definitely attack on him because he is a spearman. Luckily, if he wants to attack us, he'll automatically have a deflank bonus no matter what, and he's either got to go across the river or into heavy rough. And this archer's right around the corner, so that could get spicy real quick. Anyways, sorry about the throat thing. I hope I explained why I did it that way, because I was expecting there could be a barbarian camp or something like that. Because worst case scenario is I step over, there's nothing there, and I just shoot the city. This guy comes down, shoot the city, like, you know, we were planning anyways. It's funny because it's, you know, 6 one way, half dozen the other, unless there's something over here, in which case this is the better way, and that's the only reason I did it. I'm a big fan of best practices. Back when I played Magic, I had a friend that would criticize me about the order and stuff I did things in, and I was like, well, if you play right when you don't have to, then the times when you do have to, it'll be like second nature, and you're that much less likely to overlook it. Losing grasp on Kathmandu. That means we would lose 4 happiness, and we're actually about to drop a city right now, so... But more importantly, we would lose the extra 2 faith. And if we keep that 2 faith rolling, we can passively get a great profit. Now, I don't know how much I'm going to want a religion, because if we're going domination, it's just as easy to take a religion. But all of our faith thus far have been passive, so I'm thinking it might be worthwhile to hold on to these guys for a little while longer. It'll keep that the furs in our happiness ring that much longer. What is the exchange rate anyways? It's been a while since I've done this. 250 for another 20 turns. That's actually not bad. Obviously we'd rather not separate with the gold because after the paper maker we still need to be thinking of our military upgrades. But this not only gets us the happiness, but if it gets us the great profit, then it keeps this guy in our pocket for a long time to come, and would also start giving us food in the capital, which we can always use. The capital's pretty poor in general. So yeah, I'm thinking it might be worthwhile to do that. So no more of this losing grasp on Kathmandu. It'll be interesting to see if that turns out to be a mistake or not. Alright, so if he's backing up, I might as well go ahead and put another shot into this guy simply because we're doing this primarily for the XP and the Great General points, and this accomplishes both. We're actually getting quite a far along because we're China, right? We actually accumulate this faster than the average bear, so to speak. I didn't think that would finish him off, and I was right. And he's healing. Okay, so everything's going pretty well. I'm really glad we're keeping. Yeah, so we'll say we want to build the monument, but let's go ahead and buy the paper maker because there's no maintenance costs. You're not losing out. Like if this was a library, we'd be paying. I think it's like 2 gold for what would right now be half a science. That's totally not worth it. But since we know we're going to buy it eventually, we buy it now, and that half science, whatever. But we're getting 2 gold per turn on top of it. Obviously, that's a loss because to pay 400 for 2 gold per turn, it would take 200 turns to pay for itself. And maybe we get there. I don't know. It's been so long since I finished a game, I forget what the average min-max victory tends to be. And I think domination, I'm a little bit rusty or inexperienced when it comes to domination, so it'll probably be slower than what is ideal. But even if we don't get to there, like the fact that we know we're going to buy it, let's buy it now. That way we get the GPT immediately. That just makes sense to me. Because how soon would it be until we need, you know, another 3 turns or whatever. So that's like 6 gold we would have missed out on or more. Anyways, we know we are sending that to Bratislava, so let's just go ahead and deploy it. Alrighty, so let's see here. You're about to finish a road. We definitely don't want that. Alright, so we're about to spit out our 4th archer. So as far as buffing the military, we'd want a spearman next. So let's do that. It's really tempting to build the circus here. But let's get our military up. The military's kind of been dragging. We've been stretched a little thin. And if we're doing all this, then obviously... let's see here. Shoot him. Step in and... Okay, because here we would have had zone of control. It really didn't matter which way we go. It's just now this is the guy that's within range of the city, not this one. He'll probably shoot here because I think we can afford to heal one more time. But in the event that he was going to attack one of the archers, I need to protect the scouty one. Okay, so let's see here. We will probably have this all finished up before this guy can re-enter the fray. So I think I'm going to have him come over to the capital to heal up rather than over here. Because once we have a great general, we can back off and kind of like regroup. And by then, we'll be having these techs coming online. So I think it might be time to just push Ethiopia at that point. So the question becomes spearman or circus. Philosophy's done in 4 turns. We're going to grow in between them. Right now we're doing 13.2 hammers. A spearman is 56. If we selected spearman, how far along are we? Yeah, we've already got a chunk there. Does it actually tell us how far along we are? I don't see it. Is it here? Yes, it's here. So we already have the 8. I'm not going to get into the decimals. 4 turns of 13 is 52. Plus the extra 4 hammers from the iron. When we grow, that's 56. And that's the entire complement. Oh wait, once we grow, we're going to be working the gold tiles. Wait, that doesn't matter. Alright, so the spearmen will actually be out in more like 3 turns. And we are going to grow in the meantime, so maybe that becomes 3. I don't know. Basically, what it comes down to is if we choose circus, we're going to like take too long, but happiness will be secured. Well, actually, we don't need to worry about happiness. We just send a trade route to Bratislava, so there's going to be +4. Okay, so, yep, spearman it is. Alright, sorry for taking so long on that. That's, it's okay in Liberty when you're expanding your kingdom to go into unhappiness a little bit, but, oh, cool. He's actually got silk for us. Wow, okay. I don't think we had extra silk though, or sugar. But it's nice knowing that either when the sugar we sold off to Persia comes back, or is more likely the case, this sugar gets into our... Because it says 14, but we'll have it before then. He'll have an extra hammer here. This will be done. Borders are grow. So, yeah, once that sugar comes in, that's going to be another 4 happiness. So that's really great. That's really cool. And France is over here. It looks like they've got silk and gold, so no problem. We already got their silk, so that's going to probably be the end of our luxury trades, but you never know. Don't like to see the religions getting founded. Alright, he wants more iron, and unfortunately he still just has the 1 gold per turn. Oh, that sucks. Alright, trade route established, so they are our allies, which is 6 culture per turn. Nice. So yeah, like good portion of our culture is coming from just them. And that's part of the reason why I was willing to take a chance on completing Liberty before opening Honor. Alright, let's see. We got a guy that's looking to finish the road, and that's actually okay. In fact, it's going to take him 3 turns to do that road, and it'll take him 3 turns to go bam, bam, bam. So there will be very little overlap there, which is fantastic. This city's going to grow that much quicker now, which is nice. He will come up here and take the forest off the plains, river plains, and put the farm there. That way when we get civil service, we're already doing better than if we had cleared this one. So let's see, 4 archers, that's good. We're about to spit out 1 more spearman, that brings this number to 2. So yeah, I think a spearman here is good. Alright, we definitely got to get this guy out now, and he will be healed up to full. So that'll be like they just changed places. In the meantime, we can, oh, we got an upgrade here. I must have passed over that notification. Bam, bam. Where does that put us on Great General points? Oh. Okay, so when we get shot, that might very well be the end of the game. And then we'll just pull them out of there and heal up. So, he doesn't actually need to go towards Kuala Lumpur. And I'm thinking whichever... Yeah. Because we want to keep this melee around just in case we do get to steal another worker. We don't need one right now, but if he's going to give it to us, might as well. In fact, it might very well be that after we pull out, after we get our great general, it's time to make peace with these guys, because we're going to be pushing into Ethiopia, and once the hate starts to flow from the world, it probably means we should just go, go, go. I don't see ever a need to take over Kuala Lumpur. It's a pretty crappy town. We actually have a couple of city-states up here that have furs, so, and we got Kathmandu for a while anyways. So yeah, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it, but maybe 1 more worker. Especially when you're going domination, there's never too much such a thing as too many workers, because building roads into the your next target, and like repairing tiles on your land and their land, getting their city, you know, attached and repaired up after you devastate it. So, in our supply, we've got plenty of room, and that's why we're continuing to build units. Anyways, I think maybe have this guy come up here, take a peek here, because this trade route's been running willy-nilly for a while. Let's just see if there's a barbarian camp up there, and take it out if there is. Try and protect our caravan. There's our great general. Alrighty, so let's see here. And he did not shoot the scout, which is really, really nice. Because now this scout can back up to here and get visibility on our other trade route. And that way everything will be nice and safe. Alright, there's the growth we were looking for. Let's go ahead and work our gold tiles for the remainder of the Golden Age. Unfortunately, when I took the worker over here, it's now saying spearman 2 turns, but philosophy's down to 1. So, even though this isn't really my normal way of doing things, let's do that just so we can get the National College on that much sooner, because it is coming in a little late. So yeah, that's really good. That's really good. More religions getting founded. I don't want to see that. We put money in here specifically so we could get the great profit a little bit sooner and satisfy these guys. Maybe I should have built a shrine here, but I was trying to avoid that. But if we end up missing the great profit altogether, then yeah, it's going to be not the end of the world, but not great either. Okay, those guys are going to swap places. He's healing up. He's finishing the road. He's coming up here for visibility. Great General spawned in Shanghai. That seems odd. Well, we would almost certainly want it. Let's see. If I wait here, we could cross the river in 2 turns from now. If I move here. Okay, same, yeah, either way. I was just thinking the road's about to be finished, but we can cover the same ground this way. Alright, he's coming over to do the river. Hills, hills, hills. Alright, and with this mountain range, I'll start cutting back because there's a hill here as well. I didn't want to go all out, but hills when scouting are a pretty good thing. Pass, pass, pass. Almost done. My throat actually made it. Okay, philosophy is finished. Last paper maker is finished. Build queue in the capital is available. I really want to be able to put up a guild for Guangzhou, where all that Lake Victoria growth is happening. But because all that Great Lake growth is happening, we do need our coliseums. And of course, we do need our composite bowmen. And once this city grows, which is in 3 turns, it's got no place to put citizens. I'll put a farm here for now because we do want to grow to 7 at least. Just because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 2 specialist slots. Also, it just so happens 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So once this is at 7 pop, the roads become not operating at a loss. In fact, I think it's a minor profit. But anyways, after we're done putting the farm here, we'll have the tech. We can actually put like a lumber mill in here. That way, when we are building the Writers Guild, we'll have the production for it. So let's go ahead and build our last spearman in the meantime. And then we'll probably get a 4th warrior. If we do go iron working, then we're going to have the iron from our buddies, and even if all of our natural iron sold off, we should be able to use that to do the upgrades. And then that just means as many swordsmen as we have, we won't be able to sell off that many natural iron in the future. My point being is that we are going to want the spearmen to kind of be the homeland defenders while the swordsmen go off to war. We'll probably take 1 spearman with us just because he might have horses. Well, he definitely has horses. We just don't know if he's built anything with them. So that's kind of like the long-term plan as I see it, as far as like preparing for war. And there goes our city connection, all nice and pretty. It don't really matter where the Great General goes, I suppose. We don't really have a use for him at the moment. But definitely, whoops. Definitely National College. And I think until the National College is built, we'll leave our tiles this way. At least through the Golden Age for the gold, and then on here just to expedite. Because just for goof, let's see, 14 turns, 19 turns. That's a huge difference, so obviously we want to just do that. I don't think it's worth coming from here to here. In fact, we'll probably have a worker, since that road's finished now, we'll have one of them come and chop this down. Maybe the other one starts preparing the road to Guangzhou. 7 turns until border growth. So yeah, by the time one of the workers comes over here and chops that down, maybe he can sit in the marsh while the pre-builders come in here, and that way if it's either one, we got a worker right on top of it. That's a nice piece of timing. So yeah, he's coming up here just to keep an eye on the trade route, make sure it stays safe from the barbarians. In keeping with what I was saying about the spearmen being the homeland defense, I'll move this guy here on his way up here, and that way this warrior can head down and become a swordsman and make the push. This tile's been so clutch in our empire because the way we have 2 flatland tiles from our city into the mountain range, and the fact that there's a river here. From here we can get into the mountains across the river, so this has been a very crucial waypoint in my opinion. Alright, he's heading up here. He's gonna just... Right there we've got excellent visibility over everything. Obviously we can't see this, and that's a problem, but we can at least see enough to be able to respond. Okay, we'll probably take a quick side jog just to reveal the city tile and then start cutting back. Alright. Let's see here. He's just gonna chill. All right, and that is past the half hour point. So, yeah, thank you guys so much for joining me and for challenging me. The tech path, or the Great National College and the policy path has been very challenging topics for me. Mentally, I hope I've made the correct decision. By all means, let me know what you guys think. I so appreciate all your support and feedback. I hope you've enjoyed the segment. I have. This is actually going pretty well, I think. Let me know what you think about the individual decisions, though. This is a controversial decision, giving them some of my money when we need to upgrade so many military units relatively soon. Money's doing good, though, so at least there's that. Anyways, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.